Good morning, traders. Let's get after it. Might have to duck left and right, but we're going to throw the haymaker and get after this market. Let's go, team. I'm ready.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, traders, are you guys ready to keep it going? You guys know where you're at. Live trading with Benzinga. Let's bring on the boys here. We got, of course, Ryan Faloona in the house, and of course, Nick Brown. How we doing, guys? You guys have a great weekend?
Sure did, man.
Yep.
Sure did. Sorry I wasn't here for the last 2 days of the week, but man, it was spectacular golf. So yeah, I had a great weekend.
I saw great weather for you, Ryan. I'm glad that held up well and you were able to have a good time out there. So definitely having a good time. And your Cubs are doing well. The Cubbies are coming back.
So I saw the game. I saw a game at Wrigley against Cincinnati. They swept Cincinnati, then took 2 or 3 from the Braves after adding at the trade deadline. I think they might make a run to the playoffs here.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. The Central's within reach and the wild card is right there. So
I believe as of yesterday, they have the last wild card spot.
Yeah. And so I think with that being said, now it's try to take the extra division. We'll see if they're able to take it. All right, let's go over. Nick Brown, did you enjoy your weekend?
Yes, it was a packed one. Went to the WPFA, the Western Pennsylvania Fire Association banquet yesterday. I got invited to that.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. Banquet man here.
Yeah. Other than that, it was a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend, Mitch.
Yeah, had a good one. Had some baseball. Ready to get back after this market. Let's get to it, guys. All right, so I'm going to really quickly go through my swing trades. And like always, we'll try to keep it running fast here for you guys. If you guys have any ticker you guys want to take a look at, you guys know what to do. Just throw it up. All right, so let's get through it. XOM, of course, still on this trade. Going to look for this to get back towards 109 on Friday. Definitely don't want to see it get back through 106. Even a 107 pullback is okay. I'm not going to let it get back through 106. So 106 will be that spot. If I need to, I'll take profits. We'll see what happens on XOM. Now, Chevron is actually in the red for me now after I took first profits. Is it deep red? No, it's like the offers in the green, the bids in the red. So I need to just be smart here, not let it crack through 159. If I need to get out and come back into Chevron, that's okay because I took profits. What I can't do is just give up those profits. There's no point. I'd rather just get out and come back into the game. All right, we'll see what happens there on oil stocks. And then my short that I do have on is on CCL, Carnival Corp. Of course, I'm looking for RCL to make it down towards maybe about 100. It's already up a little bit today. Norwegian already down to 18. And so this is why I feel like these stocks could make one more leg lower. I'm going to look for that leg lower through the 17 today on Carnival to take majority of it off once I get up about a point on the name. We'll see what happens there on Carnival, up about 3.28% right now. Let's keep it moving. We'll keep an eye out, of course, on XLE, energy stocks like that, basic materials. We'll see if that wants to continue going. That's a strong area that's just recently pulled back. We'll see if that can continue. Financial services. I think this is one thing to keep an eye out for. When we started to go up and continue to go up, it was when financial services kept going up, even though tech wasn't getting the big lift. And of course, all eyes on technology today to see if we get continued tech correction. Now kicking it over to my man, Ryan, as we get through some of his stocks. What do you want to talk about first, Ryan?
All right. Well, the first thing I was going to say, I shared my screen. First things first, let's take a look at the SPY because we've really kind of rolled over from this last run up that we've been in, and it looks like some of these support levels might come into play here. First one is going to be that 444, which remember we banged on the door of that several times before going through it. I expect this to be some pretty solid support should we trade back down to that level. Right beneath that 444 level is the 50-day at about 440. So that 440 to 444 level, lots of fours in there, but that 440 to 444 level should be some really, really good support. I would imagine that if that breaks down into this purple shaded area, we go, and this isn't stuff that's going to happen in one day. This is going to happen over the course of a number of days. So just kind of keeping this on the outlook or in the back burner, if you will. I'm going to be focused more on some of the shorter moves that we can get. I know a bunch of you folks are looking at VTGN. So let's start off with that one here. This is, I believe, historic move. Is what it was called earlier in the chat. Indeed, this stock went from mid 3 handle to 25 here. Looks like it actually went higher than that, maybe 27, and came back in. We do have a catalyst here. Vistagen Therapeutic shares are trading higher after the company announced its phase 3 Palisade 2 trial evaluating their efficacy, safety, and tolerability of fastinidal met the primary and secondary endpoints. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind here. First of all, for those of you that already traded this, congrats. This is a gigantic move. I think some of you were in at the 5s and then out in the 20s. That's what we're talking about. Looks like this is actually going higher here now too. Let me go ahead and reset this chart. Yeah, we're at 40s here now. Just an absolutely monster move. So here's the thing. Phase 3 is normally a sell the news at some point. We'll see if that's the case here. Obviously, there's a gigantic trade already happening. This thing's up 2,000%. I think it goes without saying, I don't think I can trade this now, being that it's already seen this huge move. The trade was like you guys were doing in the pre-market here when this thing was much lower. The one thing that I want to point out about this is that there's really no way to know what stock is going to produce this kind of move. All right. And I wouldn't be shocked to see, excuse me, I want to see what happens around the open. Does the stock really come back in? Because remember, there's no halts in the pre-market or the after-hour session. Stock up now 3,000%. So be very, very careful with this if you didn't already take gains. This thing's really, really crazy. The one thing to keep in mind is that when you're scalping, when you're buying, when you're day trading, sometimes you'll get a stock like this that absolutely just runs away. Really, really important to pay yourself on the way up so that you lock in those gains. Cleo, I know it's a huge stock move. It's a huge move. Okay, Sorry, had to stop that. Otherwise, I can't keep going here. There are a couple more that we're going to take a look at here. SVFD, this is Save Foods. This actually popped higher. We might have a double top break here at 167. We'll see. First thing we got to do here is reclaim the VWAP. Next is going to be MF. Again, same deal here. This is Miss Fresh, not something else. So the first thing that we really need to do here is have some nice volume pop, reclaim this VWAP, and then move towards the highs. We'll see if we end up getting that as well. This Sovo, this was a buyout target, so I don't expect this to trade very much. BSFC, this could get gearing and go right away. We're right at that VWAP. So let's see what happens. By the way, just as quickly as it went up, it goes back down. So we printed 60s. We're already back into 35 here. I expect this to be a halt fest as soon as the market opens on VTGN. So again, just be careful, folks. I don't want to see people buying at 50 and selling at 5 because it didn't go the way that you thought. That would really suck. Next here is going to be PLX. This is another one we've traded up, come back into the VWAP, and now we're pushing away from the VWAP. We do have a catalyst here. Protalix Bio shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q2 financial results. Last one I wanted to mention here was RAD. We've actually traded this quite a bit. I've traded this a bunch in the future, or a bunch in the past. Looks like if we take out 316, which was Friday's intraday high, this could get even more juice to the upside. So keep this one on your radar. DNA had a catalyst this morning. We'll see if this takes off. This was an earnings catalyst. Nikola, this was a momentum mover for last week. We really want to see if we get any of that continued momentum this week. Unsure if we really get that. Lumen coming off the bottom, and Beacon pretty much bleeding all of its gains back. So, Nick, that's a pretty quick rundown for me. You ready to take over some news here? I'd be happy to drive for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, put up Tesla. We just got some breaking news within the last 20 minutes. The Tesla CFO, Zach Kirkhorn, has stepped down, and he's going to be replaced by the current chief accounting officer, Vibhab Taneja. Kirkhorn is going to stay on until year end to handle the transition. That literally just broke within the last 20 minutes. That one on the dock, but Tesla shares after earnings and everything that's going on, this CFO CEO transition announcement was not expected. So this is something to keep a watch on. Over the weekend, we've had a lot of news, Ryan. We've had some speeches released by the Fed, but we're going to start off with former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. He was on Bloomberg over the weekend talking on inflation, and he's inflation, the reacceleration risk with too hot wage growth. He flags trend in wages is accelerating, and he says some sense of fear may be needed on the U.S. deficit. If you could put up a chart of oil or USO or something like that, the Saudis boost most oil prices to Asia, Europe as the market tightens. Saudi Aramco price hike comes after Saudis extending curbs to supplies. The flagship Arab light crude to increase by 30 cents a barrel. So just watch that. As I said, we had Federal Reserve Governor Michelle Bowman. She released a speech and made brief remarks at the 2023 CEO and Senior Management Summit at an annual meeting sponsored by the Kansas Bankers Association, Colorado Springs, Colorado. She repeated the remarks this morning, and in her remarks Saturday afternoon, she said she expects, quote, additional rate increases will likely be needed to get inflation on a path down to the FOMC 2% target, end quote. Notice how she said increases. That's plural. So that's going to be more than one. So we're going to have to watch to see what happens in September, what happens in November. Currently, as I last checked, per Friday, there was a most likely increase of target rates for November with about a 30% chance. There was about a 14% chance in September. Remember, we do have Jackson Hole coming up this month, so that's going to shed some light on what's to come. If you could throw up a chart of a Lucid, EV maker Lucid slashes prices of Air Sedan as part of an offer amid heating competition. Lucid reduced the price of the Air Pure by $5,000 to $82,400 from $87,400 and cut prices of the more powerful touring and grand touring versions by $12,400 to $95,000 and $125,600, adding that the offer would be valid as long as supplies last. Remember, we've had Tesla cutting some prices, Ford cutting some prices, so this market is really shaping up for a lot of prices, and we're going to see how supplies last with all these EV makers through year end. If you could throw up shares of Warner Brothers Discovery, Barbie surpasses $1 billion box office. It is now the first U.S. film directed by one woman to reach the $1 billion mark. Through Sunday, the movie had grossed about $1.03 billion overall in domestic and international markets, making it one of about a half a dozen films since the pandemic to gross $1 billion in ticket sales. Now, there's also an update with Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. The World War II drama Oppenheimer, meanwhile, has grossed $552.9 million globally. I know my feed on Facebook, Instagram has been flooded with tons of people going to see the Barbie movie. Oppenheimer.
So Nick, really quickly, just a little anecdote on that Barbie movie. Obviously, I was out this weekend hanging out with a bunch of my friends. I went to my buddy's house and he introduced me to his wife, and his wife had 3 girls come over, all of them dressed in pink because they were going to go see the Barbie movie together as their activity on Friday evening. I asked them specifically, I did this for you, Nick. I said, are you gals going to see Barbie and then go see Oppenheimer and make it a Barbenheimer night? And they looked at me with blank stares and said, no, that sounds boring. So it looks like Barbie is still the main draw for some of that cohort of people that are going to see him. But it was everywhere. It was everywhere.
To counter that too, Ryan, to even add on to that, even all of my friends, I've said, hey, are you going to go see Oppenheimer? And now I don't think we're going to see Oppenheimer. And a lot of my friends, they're also waiting for it to just be available on streaming, on the streaming platforms, because not a lot of them really want to go to the movie theaters. And I second that. I'm not really a movie theater person. I'd rather just have the popcorn in my house and just watch it on streaming. So we're going to have to see what is going on with Oppenheimer, what some, I don't want to say problems he's had with the movies, but what is it that Barbie is surpassing him by almost 500 million? This is going to be a story to come and see how far Barbie sees and goes.
So here's one of the things. I'll throw this out there. We'll have to see if this ends up materializing, but I really think that this is at play here. Oppenheimer's more of a drama, serious movie. It's probably considerably longer than Barbie. I don't know. I'm saying that out of ignorance.
I believe Oppenheimer is like 3 hours long, possibly.
So to me, it seems like the more social fun activity is to get a bunch of gals together and go see Barbie, right? That it's probably, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't tell you what it's like. If anyone in the chat is in there, please let us know. But I'm willing to bet that it's just kind of a fun, lighthearted movie, and it's perfect for an evening out. For fun, whereas Oppenheimer, there's probably more serious undertones on that. It's not as much of a let's go have fun, right? It's about nuclear weapons or atomic weapons.
It's a more of a serious
movie. The vibe
movie.
is the same.
Yeah, it's a more serious movie. In oil-related news too this morning, this broke within this morning. Jeff Curry, Goldman Sachs' global head of commodities research, is leaving the bank after 27 years. The departure was announced in a memo to staff on Monday. And lastly, U.S. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler says artificial intelligence (AI) could lead to a future financial crisis. That's according to a New York Times deal book. Mr. Gensler says the United States will most likely end up with 2 or 3 foundational AI models. All right,
Okay,
that's
so
all I have.
I was going to say, sorry, I was on mute there.
That's okay.
All right, let's go ahead and open this up really quickly. Let's just take a look at where VTGN is. Again, this printed 60s came all the way back into 22. Now that the market's open, let's see. I'm going to not trade this. I'm just going to say that right away. Way too risky for me. I'll find something a little bit more predictable. Really hope nobody gets hurt on this name today. Really, that would be the one thing that I just don't want anyone to get hurt. If you made money, awesome. Keep it. Don't give it back. But just be careful with this name. There's going to be easier things for you folks to trade out there.
Ryan, you missed a lot while you were gone. We've had a lot of calls from the bank saying a recession is not happening, to a recession is happening, to not happening. Don't know if you saw, but I had a great interview with the former vice president and senior editor of Fundstrat on Friday on this show. Hit a lot of those topics. Other than that, it was the Friday reversal. Markets were higher Friday, but then there was a decline Friday afternoon as rates spiked. Not sure if you saw, but we had a Goldilocks jobs report with them below 200,000 again. Friday was a particularly busy day, and so we'll see how bond yields do today and to see how this rally goes.
Yeah, Friday was a busy day. I took a look at those job numbers, and I was kind of thinking about the actual print. I got interrupted by my buddy handing me a breakfast sandwich, and then we teed off. So I didn't really think or do any analysis on those job numbers. We'll see how that actually impacts things here today. Really quickly, MF, which was one of the stocks that we were watching for a potential return back to the VWAP here, snapped to set new lows. To me, this is off the plate until something else firms up and materializes here. So MF, no good at the moment right now. VTGN halted, it looks like, at 24.71. I'll keep you updated on that.
All right, guys. Chevron set the little stop there just to give a nice little hop to the upside right out the gate. So that's looking good to start off here. Carnival's coming back on me above 65s. I'll just get out of the rest of the trade here. I'll still get out for a green, but this is spiking a little bit too much for me today on Carnival, back to 1760. All right, looking around for trades, guys. I'm going to look to see what's hot, what's not. I'll let you guys know what I see out there. Right now, I'm seeing LiDAR concepts up, so I'll keep an eye out on that. Cruise concepts, of course, Cruise getting up. And seeing some footwear up today. Nike up today also. I'll keep an eye on that one. Crocs up. Skechers. Nike with a good move there to 110 50s. Doesn't look too bad. We'll keep an eye out on some Nike action. Healthcare and industrials kind of leading the way right now. Industrials bouncing back. Cat bouncing back today. Boeing bouncing back. Boeing's probably the stronger one, and I think that one looks really good on this up move here. So I'd be looking for pullbacks on Boeing to maybe take a shot. So Boeing back towards, let's say, 233s, 233.70s, somewhere in between there. Nice little rip there right out the gates, though, on Boeing. Deer, how's the Deer dragon? Starting to get back up there to 425s. Didn't get there to the 420s, did it? No, I didn't get to 420. Oh, on Friday, it did get to 419. I missed that move. Oh, that was probably on, yeah, that was in after hours. After hours, it did get to 419. And this was a quick move. Apple down again. Yeah, that's important to catch there. Apple down, Microsoft actually slightly up. But if Apple's going to keep getting hit here, I could see some decline coming in the market. Amazon, I could also see coming right back into the gap zone. So I might actually short Amazon today.
Mitch, are you planning to watch Barbie or Oppenheimer?
Neither, my friend. I'll watch them when they get out, or I could watch them bootleg if I wanted to. No need to pay for movies anymore, man. There's very rare movies that I pay for nowadays.
MF, great move here. I was just thinking the same thing, but real quick, MF, huge move off the bottom here. It looked like either going to be SVFD or MF that moved off the bottom. Definitely MF. We've pulled back beneath that VWAP, so let's see if this sets up again. Great job for any of you that hit MF here. Mitch, I'm the same way. I'm the same way as both of you guys. First of all, Nick, I bought like an actual popcorn machine so I can make real movie theater butter popcorn at home. Number one. Number two, I have no interest in going to a crowded theater. I got a great setup on my couch. I'll wait for it to be on streaming services. And Mitch, to your point, there really has to be something gigantic for me to want to actually go to the movies, and neither of these are it, frankly.
What about playing AMC today? Now, that might be actually a day trade that you could maybe do. I'm not even going to lie. I'm actually looking at it right now. But you got to be careful here. I would like a pullback to 505 and $5 here, and then look to see the rip. I was talking about this the other day that AMC traders love to buy it when it's up here, not when it's back here. That's when I think it's okay to buy AMC, when it's down on the bottom and you use a risk level. But now it's kind of hard to not buy at 6. And then when it comes back to 5, you're like, oh, I don't want to take part in this. Well, the truth is it could get the lift today. If there really is that many sales of Barbie, AMC could come out with a mention like, hey, we made this and such sales from Barbie, right? So AMC is actually in play today. I would keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I mean, see, here's the thing with that trade. So I don't actually believe in AMC, the company, but you're right. What you're doing is you're drawing a connection from headlines or further potential headlines to a tradable vehicle that's likely going to react for that. I don't think any of these are going to be longer term trades. I would really caution people to stick to shorter term trades on stuff like that. I don't know how you feel about that, Mitch, but to me, it seems like you're using a trading vehicle to trade around some headlines that have come out and that you expect to keep coming out.
Yeah, I think it could just help there, especially for the day trade. I might not even like it for the swing trade, but I wouldn't mind renting it today. Just like I wouldn't mind renting maybe CNK today. Look at that 18 pop right here. This looks good. So we'll see what happens there on AMC, but I don't mind it really. And you guys know me. I'm not the biggest proponent on trading AMC, but at the end of the day,
yeah. Well, that's why I was asking you.
When opportunities are there. CCL out of the Carnival short trade. It ends in green, but nowhere near, of course, green as might wanted there, but out of that one.
VTGN is open now here and moving back towards the VWAP, which is still at 16. So this moving lower here. Ma is asking popcorn machine, how many portions at once? I think it probably makes just a single. It's a small one, but I don't really need more than that, to be quite honest with you. Popcorn, you can just keep going, and you really shouldn't.
Unless we're partying at Ryan's house.
Yeah, that's right. You got it. Nice job reading between the lines there, Nick. That's an excellent job.
Let's just say, Melanie, I don't care. They can come after me. Nike, will that continue to lift today? Now starting to pull back a little bit. Disney up today. They will report later this week. Could Disney see a lift today or before their earnings? Something to keep an eye out for. Lucid going down, baby. I was laughing when I saw reports this morning about Lucid shares trading higher after they cut prices on their vehicles.
And who'd you hear that from? Who'd you hear that from?
Oh, of course, my man Nick Brown. But
I was gonna say, you're like, I can find you some stock-related news.
But really, Nick, that's when it gets funny, right? Because the truth is that's not positive news. That's negative news. That's telling me you're making less money and you determined to make less money. Why? Well, let's think about it. What happened in their release last time? Well, their last earnings told you that they couldn't make enough vehicles. They had more reserves, but they just couldn't deliver them.
Right.
And then this is when it gets a little bit concerning. So you're telling me that you have a factory but can't build the cars.
You know, we've seen this with so this is an exception. This is like Nikola. I don't think that they're having the same issue, but I mentioned earlier, Mitch, like Ford, GM, Tesla, now Lucid. We're all seeing these price cuts and still no one is buying the vehicles.
Yep. It's going to be like that for right now. I'm looking at AMC to pull back to 505. Nothing yet. It went to 507, so could take that next step up. But yeah, it's something that I keep on watch, guys. So Lucid is just funny. And that tells me more and more that Tesla could keep coming down today. And I think that more and more when you see margins going down, I've talked about how the auto manufacturing area has changed tune. The number one most important thing I feel are in auto manufacturing right now is one word only: margins. Look for that. When you ever see mentions of that, that's going to be where the battle is. Why? Legacy now versus kind of Tesla, right? New EVs versus Tesla. Either way, they're all versus Tesla. That's one thing I'll state. So you know who the leader is. But keep in mind, as margins go down, that's when Tesla loses market share. Because the truth is, that's what's going to be the battle first. And the legacy automakers, I think, are going to be willing to take a hit on their vehicle longer than Tesla could be like, I'll give up the margins, right? And so that's why I feel like Ford and GM will get a part of this battle, because they're willing to literally sell these cars at a loss. You can tell that by the Mach-E. The Mach-E tells me a lot from Ford that they're willing to lose money and continuously lose money as long as they can do what? Gain market share. The same strategy that DraftKings had. DraftKings did the same thing at first. They said, you know what? We'll give and give and give money until we have the market share that we want. Then we'll switch to profitability. That's the new change of DraftKings that they just did. They started switching more to EBITDA profitable and talking about how they're going to continue on that path. You got to look for things like this in the EV story. So first, it's going to be the battle of market share and margins. And what I will see is that the certain legacy makers are willing to give it up. Am I still holding Genie? Yes, I still have it. Yeah, no worries, guys. You guys can always talk about my bag. I take my bags with me.
Let's say this,
keep my
folks.
baggage.
Let's say this. Mitch will tell us when he sells Gina. You will not have to ask him. You will know.
See me on the cruise when I sell Genie.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Mitch. There will be no confusion as to whether or not Mitch holds it. If you're confused, he still has it.
Yeah,
real quickly, great call here by Becca on Rad. Mitch, I'm just going to go to, or you already did it. Thank you. Now I'm having trouble clicking. Too much coffee. Rad, this actually looks pretty good. Holding here above the VWAP. Really think it takes out this 313. Remember, 316 or Friday's intraday high, excuse me. So this looks to be a pretty good resistance area here. I like Rad for higher here.
I don't mind that one at all. That seems to me like also a short squeeze type of potential stock. Not necessarily saying that, everyone's going to Rite Aid all of a sudden, but yeah, not a bad stock to watch. I agree. Good, interesting stock. One thing that I see consistently on this pattern is 1 hour pops, drops, 1 hour pops, drops. So look for that continued pattern and look to try to catch the pullback on that. I'll show you that in Rad right here on the hourly. You see pop, drops. Pops, drops. So we got to look for those pullbacks. Try to jump in on at least I'll be looking for pullback support tries to previous resistance. So the stock pops, it comes back through that level. I look for it to come back to that level. The stock pops. Now I could look for a move above 3 and then eventually a move back to 3. Things like that is what I look for. All right, let's keep going, guys. You guys keep talking about other names. I think Yell reopened. Is that what happened there? Let's take a look here. Yell trying to get the pop. It's had already 2 halts. Could come right back down. Be careful out there, you Yell traders. I hear you yelling at me.
Yeah, I'd be careful with Yell too. One of the other ones being mentioned here by Crow is SVFD. Be careful with this one too. This one really, really moves. Just be careful on that. Rad looks like it might be going here on Rad.
Rad. It doesn't look too bad off that 3.
Really needs to take out 313 and 316. If it can do that, we're in business here on Rad. That's what I'm watching for here.
So for me, I'd like a little pullback here to hold the 304, 305 on pullbacks and then not even get to 3 and then come right back through 310. So the 9 EMA, right? 9 EMA is this light blue line here. I'd look for pullbacks at 304, 305, and then the takeout of 310. Why? Because that gives me one more attempt towards this third support area right around this $3 spot. So
my entry on Rad 307, so a little bit higher than what Mitch is outlining there, but really not all that bad. We'll see if Rad can get going here.
And the fun part about that is, right, multiple eyes on the same stock. That's what you want to be hearing. You want to be hearing the levels, right? Where is Ryan interested in levels? Where am I interested in levels? Is actually going to probably make sense on both sides, right? So I think always keep that in mind, right? We can't tell you how to trade. One thing that we can point out is just resistance levels, support levels, and then you guys go and confirm that in your own trading, like always. All right, Paul C says, good morning. It's good to see you, Paul C. Let us know what you're looking at today. All right, and keep it going, team. That's what we're all about, trying to help each other out, point to stocks. That's all we can do a lot of the times. We're not here to make investment decisions for each other. But there's one thing that we can definitely do is say, hey, do you see this industry ripping? Do you see this? And that's also what Nick Brown's here for. So if you guys have any news you guys want to check out, let my man know. We'll see what happens today. You know which one what I thought was a super reach today? Wayfair's upgrade. Wayfair's upgrade. I was knocking this in pre-market prep like no other. I was like, are you serious, UBS? Come on, man. UBS upgrading Wayfair to buy and raising the price target to 110.
SVFD gonna halt. I'm sorry for interrupting you,
You're
Mitch.
good. Cut
SVFD
me, man.
gonna halt here, 135. I grabbed a little bit here, 126. So I'm gonna hold through the halt here on SVFD, halted at 138. Let's see where we go next. Remember, 168, your pre-market high. I've got a very, very little on this. I have 500 shares, folks. That's it, 500 shares. So we'll see what's going on here. Rad pulling back here now, so I'm down on that. Rad pulling back down to that VWAP area at 3. Let's go ahead and load that up here. Now breaking beneath 3. Got to be careful here if this keeps going lower.
All right, AMC pulling back here. It's close to that 505 level here. So as it breaks towards 505, 504, I'm gonna look to try to get some on this trade. Let's see what happens on AMC today. How's the SPY doing right now? SPY's pulling back significantly here. So is the Qs. I'm keeping an eye on Amazon to see if that's going to drop. That was one stock I think could go right back into the gap zone. And then I'm looking to see if Apple continues lower. That shows me that these stocks could just drop right back off. So just be careful out there. There is some leading stocks to the downside. Tesla going down further also. So Apple, Amazon, Tesla, not looking good here. And I think that's going to completely roll us over. We'll see what happens. Google's one that I'd watch that's in the green, but you see how quickly it pulls back, right? Microsoft also, but just slightly in the green. We'll keep a watch on those. NVIDIA starting to come right back down. So I'd be careful on this as we might see a little bit of some pullback action come in here. Not seeing that rip today. Seeing the Qs pull back to 373s. And we're still kind of in that rectangle pattern. It expanded a little bit, but let's just be honest. We're still in that. Let's see if we go lower here and actually cut towards the 372s. There's AMC pulling back there. If I want to take the shot, I have the shot now.
So really quickly here, Rad really kind of broke down away from the VWAP. Was not expecting this. Interesting thing that I'm watching here. I'm still in this and I'm down. So kind of sucks. But one of the things I'm watching is going to be this trend, right? So this is the trend that we have. If we break this, probably going lower here. But if we bounce and take up VWAP, maybe we can re-challenge that high there at 312. I'm underwater on this trade, so I'm doing the best I can to manage it. I don't necessarily want to take the loss just in case we bounce here. But if we take a big move lower here, I'm going to be out. Still waiting on the unhalt of SVFD. We'll see where that unhalts and where that goes when it unhalts. I'll call that. Even if you guys are saying something, I will probably interrupt you with that SVFD one.
All right, guys. I'm going to start pointing towards a trend that some of you guys might not want to hear this outlook, but it's just what I see, right? And I always want to tell you guys when I see something. I'm starting to see all momentum names start to crack. And that's when you got to start being careful in this market. AI is the biggest leader in this kind of move, right? We've seen AI try to make multiple moves above the 40. Now it's starting to break towards this 35. Does not look good by any means. Technically, on my levels, this looks like it's coming back to 30 and could start to break the AI hype. When you break the AI hype, what do you also break? you break the growth search outlook. So stocks like Carvana could start coming down. Stocks like Upstart could start breaking. Yes, last week I wanted to short Upstart. Definitely missed out on that opportunity now. And with the bad earnings report, Upstart could be right back down to 42s when it was just at 70 last week. So be careful out there. I'm seeing also a firm pull back really quickly. It shows me that these momentum names are starting to break. So I know that you
It's a
guys are
good call.
trading names like momentum names right now, like even Save Foods, right? That's still a momentum name. That's still a kind of short squeeze type of look. The same thing that I saw in kind of people looking after like even Warner Brothers, but at least this has a catalyst. But just be careful because these could be wicked pullbacks, especially on stocks like Affirm, Carvana, names like that. I'm just putting it out there as a warning because if your stock went up straight up, it could be coming straight down now. And Wayfair is another one that I'm like, man, this UBS analyst, I'm sorry. And I don't mean to say things so mean sometimes, but man, this guy should be fired.
I mean, that's okay.
Dude,
Tell us how
We've
you
seen
really
that
feel,
happen
Mitch.
too, Mitch. To add on to that, we've seen that all throughout the
Oh,
summer that they're just
God.
chasing and chasing and chasing. And we've been
Chasing.
saying it on this show.
It's so bad to chase like this, though.
Oh, it
Like,
is.
you could have raised all this time 50, 60, 70, 80. When the stock gets to 90, you want to put a buy and 110 on it?
SVD open, SVFD
man.
open and going higher here on SVFD.
Jay, it's opened. See what happens on SVFD.
It's going higher here, folks.
Foods.
That is going higher here. They brought a bid under. It's going to halt again, I think. Yeah, 154. It's going to halt again here. Yeah, you know what? Can I get out? I'm going to take it right there. I'm already in one halt. The last thing I want is another halt down. Took the gains off there. Nice little trade, SVFD. It's not even a lot of shares, too.
AMC
Great job for whoever hit that
there.
one.
We'll see if that makes the lift there. It did hold that 505, 503 outlook. So we'll see if it takes 520s now. We'll see if that gets moving. And then I'd want to see CNK also break through the 18. A move back down through 1760s. Got to be careful with AMC. And then also keep your eyes on that for the WBD. You can also watch maybe even Mattel today. We'll see what happens on those. Who's the Barbie fan out there? Nick already left. And he knew I was about to call him out on Barbie.
No.
I'm not a Barbie fan.
Actually,
Absolutely not.
And actually, Nick got a shout out here. 40% in Tesla in 10 minutes. Thanks that one, Money Mitch and Nick. Thank you. So great job, guys, making our chat some more money. Crow also out of SVFD, doesn't want to deal with the halt just like me. Great trade, Crow. Great trade, SS Trades. We're having a day this morning, folks. Let's go. That's what I wanted to hear.
China trade coming off. Also, I will let you guys know Baba down big. So China trade coming down really quickly. You know, one thing that I saw in the China trade, remember the China trade that I started calling out was because they were supposed to get some actual true fiscal policy kind of increase, right? Or maybe even some monetary support. That's not what happened in China.
Sorry, Mitch.
No, you're good, my friend. We're just keeping it going here. Too much information, too much value. Smash the like for that, though. Let's keep it going.
I definitely, coming back from vacation, wanted to get back into it really, really quickly. And I think now that I've done a couple of trades, lost on one-on-one, I think what I'm going to do now is kind of just slow everything down and get back to a comfortable feeling here. VTGN mentioning about this being open again. Again, this thing down at 13. Remember, it was not more than 20-30 minutes ago. The stock was printing 60s. We're in the teens now, folks. So again, just gotta be careful with names like this. It's still tradable, but gotta be careful. Gotta be careful.
Big stock I'm watching is Amazon. Of course, it tried to make that move on Friday. It still made a little bit of an up move, but didn't really just break out. Now it's made this whole down move in the 1 minute pattern. 1 minute pattern's done with. Now I'm going to look to see if this actually becomes more of a 15-minute or 5-minute breakdown, or will it just recover on an hourly pullback? So you see how the hourly pullback is actually bullish, but the shorter time frames are actually bearish. This is where I feel like a lot of short traders even get caught. So that's why I'm actually waiting to see what's the next move. Show me the 5-minute rejection of VWAP coming right back through the 139.50s. Then I can take an attempt for the gap down. If not, it could come right back up and just push through 141. And if Amazon does push through 141 today, I'll be looking for the market to recover on the Qs. We'll see it. Q's already back there. Apple's one to keep an eye out for. They can come back up through 181s. And leaders on the day, I'd look for like Google to take that nice little uplift, Microsoft to take that nice little uplift. And there you go. The leaders are leading right now. Microsoft and Google leading the move. The ones that are getting weighed on, Amazon and Apple, look for those to come back.
BSFC. This looks like this is spiking here. This might be bouncing after its return to the VWAP. I would have really liked to have seen this actually come into the VWAP first, came near it. It looks like there's a seller there at 125.
Let's see if we can get tech to come back into the green. Energy down also today. So you got a lot in the red. What's in the green is industrials and financial services, then followed by defensives. And what's doing well in defensives? Walmart's doing well. Nice little lift there to 160. Costco at 557. Ooh, BJ Wholesales Club at 68. I sold that last week. We'll see what happens if it does keep going, but I'm all out of the Wholesales Club. And that was a nice little gap fill. It was a gap fill that I went after. The gap filled, got to get out. There's no point in staying in it, right? Like if that's what I was looking for, and you get what you're looking for, don't go and then be that greedy guy and being like, I want more. You know what I mean? That's where I see a lot of traders do things wrong. They literally said, hey, this is what I want. And then they get what they want. And then they're like, no, I want more now. You know what I mean? We got to be careful with that mentality. It can definitely get us hurt. You got to get one of those body armors, Nick.
SVFD open and higher, by the way. SVFD open and higher. So, and it looks like it's going to halt again here at 176. Now, look, I know I took mine off. I know that now that we've seen it halted again here at 176, 20 cents higher. Yeah, that was the wrong move, but it fit into my plan. And I don't ever know what these stocks are going to do. I tell you guys on a daily basis, I don't really like halts. Mitch and I have discussed stocks halting multiple times, 2 and 3 times before reversing. I took some. I got an instant move. I wasn't in that stock for more than a couple of minutes. I took it off. That's really all there is to it. If this sets up again, maybe we'll have another opportunity for it, but I'm not going to be pissed about losing 20 cents in a stock from halt to halt. What if this opens up lower on the next halt resumption? Who knows?
Yeah, the only thing that I would say there is that if you have enough share size, maybe you can keep on a runner. But other than that, if you got to know what you're going after, right? And that's what I talked about before, right? So if that's what you're looking for, you get it. It's not about continuing going. It's about what? Base hits, right? And so just have the mentality of what you're looking for. Prior to trading and prior to entry is so important. A lot of people try to do this on the fly as they're in the stock. That's probably where you start catching yourself. Hyliion. Yeah, we could keep a lookout for Hyliion's earnings tomorrow. I'll let you know what I see, Bruglight. Of course, long term, I do like them. But my thing is, and I'm waiting for it, and I've asked the question to the CEO multiple times. I've asked the question is, where's the interest from the big fleets? That's what I need. No longer these small fleets trying to get something. I want to hear a big fleet want this truck. I've driven it. It drives perfectly. That's where I start drawing questions of to why there isn't that order yet. Because I can tell you, at least from what I've seen, it looks perfect. It's amazing in what it does. Now the only question is, will someone else think that, right? It's not no longer what I think.
If the market moved on only what you think, Mitch, that'd be a really awesome market, and I'd like you to invite me to that party. But that's not how it works.
One day it might. One day it might. Kramer, I'm coming for you. Tick, tick, tick. That's all I gotta say.
Love seeing the stuff out of our chat here today. Smoke Tuna, SVFD from 118 to 164. Just an absolute banger trade there, Tuna. Great job as always. Crow saying, exactly, Ryan, you just got to get used to it. This is in regards to getting out with those halts, making sure you get out with profit and all that. Good stuff there. Jay saying green is green, better than any red. You got that right, man. You can stack profits for the rest of your life here. You don't need to get it all in one shot. One thing I do want to say here, and Mitch, I'd like to get your opinion on this too, because you've watched the market for a long time. But when we start seeing some of these crazy moves where things look broken, that's generally a sign of an unhealthy market. And I truly believe that we're in that phase right now. You mentioned earlier the unraveling of AI. If that starts and if that keeps happening, that would contribute to the crazy market that we're in. To me, it seems like something's broken, and it seems like the market isn't healthy.
What I would say to that, Ryan, is that at least from what I've seen in my trading, is that ever since the day that we went to free commissions, the market's been broken. Why? It's run by algos. It's run by a lot of the time psychology. And a lot of times the market tries to be a lot of forward-looking action, right? If it's forward-looking action, essentially, the market's guessing also, almost. You get what I mean? And with this being said, the same thing that I think happened here. Multiple expansion came in because of the AI bubble, giving revenue outlooks looking forward. We always talk about this, how what really matters is not the revenue today, but the revenue tomorrow and 1 year down the line, right? And so a lot of people started thinking about what? That AI was going to drive X and X amount of money down the line to the profits. This is why I've been calling the warning signs in the last week. And I say that, and I'll say it again, you guys will see it on my Twitter. Show me the money is the most important thing right now. And what do I mean by show me the money? It's a classic quote, and it's true. Show me the actual revenue that's happening right now with AI is the new thing that's important. It's no longer talk to me about the products that you're making. Talk to me about the revenue that's coming because of that AI. If you can give me that outlook, I'll give your stock that nice multiplier effect on the PE. But if you cannot, you'll get hit.
By the way, SVFD opened immediately into a downside halt here, 158. If you recall, the last time that this unhalted, it unhalted from 156. So we went from 156, I believe, to 176, and now we've halted to the downside at 158. So that last halt, that's already evaporated. And this is why, when watching it go higher there, Crow, I think I saw you say that you left a bunch of money on the table. Do you still feel that way? Because when this opens, you can likely buy it at that 156 that you sold it at. Just saying, we don't know where these things are going, so try to protect yourself as best you can.
All right, the stock does come right back down. Amazon does break that 139. Now I'm looking to see it lift a little bit here and then probably take another hit here. So I'm actually seeing downside continuation. Apple didn't come back. Google started making that up move, but it's right back down below VWAP. So you guys call how you want to call it. I'm seeing some downside continuation maybe coming in here. We'll see what happens. So now I'm looking for Amazon to lift here and then probably to get short around the 139.95 or 139.80 area.
Did you see, guys, over the weekend where Zuck responded to Musk on Threads, basically saying that he's ready for the battle? I still don't know why they want to physically harm each other.
Well, I don't think they want to cause long-term damage. I think they just want to fight. I mean, UFC's all the rage right now. I just think that they want a spectacle. I saw the tweet about Musk saying they're going to stream it on X, and then Zuckerberg saying, why don't we tweet it, or why don't we do it on a service that works or something like that?
Yes. And then, Musk even tweeted last night too, something about he may need surgery this week. So we're going to have to watch that too.
Yeah,
They're
he's
already throwing jabs. They're already
he's
throwing
backing
jabs.
out though. He's backing out. Elon's
Mitch.
backing
Maybe
out
that is a
already.
sign. Maybe that's a sign.
He's backing out, man.
I'll say this. I'll put this out there. I don't want to believe that. Mitch, you might be right. I don't want to believe that.
I think Musk got scared.
I don't. That doesn't.
You
No,
hear it?
that I disagree
You heard it
with.
first.
I don't
right
know.
here
I disagree
on
with you completely.
Benzinga, baby.
Musk doesn't get scared. I'm sorry. That's not it.
That boy got scared that jiu-jitsu game was gonna get that boy. He didn't want to see himself get guillotined.
I'm with Bayard. I'm with Bayard. Bayard here is saying out of control ego is a thing. I agree with this comment 100%. I just think I think if you have an out of control ego, you don't get scared because someone else is working out. Nah.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, jiu-jitsu, that's what you want, baby. That's what you want on your side.
Just put both of them on Jerry Springer. Didn't Jerry Springer die? Chicago boy.
I already said what needed to happen here. MTV already missed their opportunity. MTV. Come on, man. You missed your opportunity. All you needed to do was bring back Celebrity Deathmatch. You would have put them two in one line. Everyone would have tuned in. Tell me you wouldn't have tuned in. I want to hear if anybody would have tuned in.
Just Celebrity Deathmatches were never my thing. Yeah.
I have no interest.
Oh man, I honestly think it might have been the biggest watched event of the year. We'll see what happens on Amazon. Not giving me enough to come back and short it here, so I could just short 139s there, but I was looking for it to come back a little bit before I got short. I had orders sitting out there, but no fills for me, so I'm just canceling them right now and just looking to see what happens now. But I'm looking to see if we get this downside action in the Qs here if they let go through the 372. Right back up through 373s. And actually 374 would get you that upside action. AMC just hanging in there trying to make the move. It's at least staying bullish right now. And of course, could stay bullish. So we'll see what happens there. This is a 5-minute outlook. So you guys see that pattern right there. Nice kind of easy pattern here. We'll see if it actually wants to make the move, though. Elon. Let's just dump them on an island. See who comes back.
Whoever
makes it back
Barbie
wins.
and watch them two fight.
Oh, I'd watch it. I'd watch it, man. People watch everything now fighting nowadays. We have a slap boxing thing that is like as famous as it can be right now on TikTok.
I don't watch any fighting, so yeah, I'm the outlier again.
Yeah, I used to watch UFC. I don't watch it anymore.
I'm with you guys on that. The thing for me, when I was younger, like fighting for me wasn't like a friendly, fun sport thing. Fights to me were because something needed to get resolved. So you fought and things got resolved. You didn't just fight for I don't want to fight my friends. I have arguments with my friends all the time. I don't want to fight them. They're my friends. I don't really get it. So I don't really get that whole thing. By the way, SVFD open here. I had VGFN up, or VTGN, excuse me. SVFD open and now lower than where we sold it, Crow. Crow, how you feeling about your sale there? How you feeling about your sale there? Just saying. We don't ever know where they're going. Halts really change everything. I'm happy with the trade that was made here.
AMC trying to make that move to 511s. We'll look to see if it goes to the 520s and then makes that push. We'll see if it gets that drive now. Q's coming back here, 373, 43s. Amazon might give me that opportunity here. Got to 70s, but not 80s yet. Two men enter, one man leaves. I'm telling you, people get hyped about this stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Jake Paul beat Nate Diaz, man. That's the
Yeah, I saw
society
that.
we live in.
So what
the
happened?
society
Because
we
I
live
don't really
in,
follow
man.
that. I saw him. He got hit. Right. He basically knocked him into next week.
I mean, he knocked him down once. People say that he was hurt, but it's Nate Diaz, right? I mean, that guy's been hurt for real
Yeah.
in UFC. So I don't think he was going down without a fight, but he did lose the fight. What I want to see is actually Jake Paul fight somebody that's his size. He likes to fight people that are smaller than him, right?
Yeah. Well,
Let
there
him.
you go.
I mean, let him fight somebody that's his actual height and weight, right? I mean, that's what I want to see. But he's getting better. I'll tell you that much.
Well, that's the one thing I will say. Like Jake Paul,
better.
You can think about him any way that you want to. What I will say is that clearly he's working at what he's doing. So he's not just taking it like a joke and not working at it. He is actually working at it. And I mean, I wouldn't want to fight him.
Amazon. I got it right there, guys. At least a one entry there at 139.84s. Looking for above 140s to add a little bit more. We're going to look for a little bit of a takedown here in Amazon down through the gap. Just wanted to fill in some of this gap. Doesn't need to fill in all the gap today. And this is more of that day trading attempt because I think as long term, I'm not fighting Amazon. I'm just trying to today, I don't see it getting through 141 again. So I'm looking for the move right back down on Amazon. But yeah, Jake, he's been working hard. We'll give him that. But it's just like I say, I mean, nowadays people watch anything to do with fighting, whether it be Jake Paul, an influencer with boxing match.
Mm-hmm.
You got UFC. You have this slap boxing this thing from UFC. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's ridiculous.
The slap fighting. But see, that's the thing. Like, give me. I'm not into that. Give me the traditional sports, right? Give me baseball, football, tennis. I mean, golf. Give me the other sports. The whole fight. I don't know. I think it's just a personal preference thing. I just never got into it.
Maybe if Ryan was a fighter, I'd watch. I think Ryan could.
Yeah, I'm not though. Like I'm a big dude and I'm strong and I've been in fights before. But at the end of the day, man, I'm a lover, not a fighter. I don't enjoy it. There's nothing enjoyable about fighting another person.
Ryan, if you have any issues, just come to him and he'll give you a big hug.
I mean, I do give hugs, Nick. I do give hugs.
Go to Ryan with your problems is basically what I'm saying.
But see, now you're soliciting random hugs. I don't even know. I don't know how that's going to end up, Nick. You guys are funny. By the way, man. I just want to thank everybody here, Mitch, Nick, of course, but also all of the viewers. First of all, thank you for all your support that you give us all the time. It means the world to us, especially to the three of us who are trying to build something here. But in addition to that, I just want to thank you for making today an awesome day. I'll be honest, after a golf vacation, the last thing that I wanted to do was come back to work and responsibilities. And you folks here have made it about as enjoyable as it can be. So really, really appreciate the input and performance by everyone here, viewers included.
There we go. Amazon. Let's go. Let's go. I didn't get the ad because it just didn't go higher so I could add into it, but I'm okay with that. The price action going in my favor right back down to the 139 is going to look for now a down move in the Qs through that 373s, a move back above this high 373.64s would be that careful. You're going to get squeezed. So we'll see what happens if I get this move to 372 now and you get downside continuation in Apple. I want to see it reject VWAP and go right back down. Microsoft is one to keep an eye out for. Will this go higher? Will Google go higher? That's one to kind of keep a watch. Those are still strong, right? See if those can come down. So if you're looking for strong charts, those look good. NVIDIA also trying to hang on here. We'll see if it comes right back down. And of course, Tesla has been a weak point, trying to make its way back there to 250, or will it just reject right back through the 246? I mean, I've done a lot of jiu-jitsu in my days, so I've done a little bit of that life.
Paul saying, is there a Ryan hug line at the next Benzinga event? This is what I'll say, Paul. And if that causes ticket sales to go up, they will do that, and I will be responsible for a hug line.
Well, I did see a.
I'm buying a ticket then. I'm buying
there's
a ticket.
Like these
my words
there's
then.
Like these doggy petting stuff for like emotional support, right? They'll bring like emotional support animals, and then like you go in here and you pet a dog and you feel better. Trust me, it works. But I think a better one would just be a Hug Ryan little event,
You would
right?
say that. You would
You
love,
just go in there and you just
man.
like have like this room with like good vibes, and Ryan saying, just come here, just give me a hug. They
Not
say
how
a
I
person
expected, not how I expected Monday to go. No,
they say a person needs 7 hugs a day. 7 hugs a day.
I mean,
Are you getting
I,
your
I'm
hugs?
I'm way behind, bro. I'm way behind. Real quickly, I just want to address a couple of things here. Glenn, nice to see you. We love Zinger Nation and Benzinga, and we love you, Glenn. So thanks for joining us. Hope all is well. SS Trades asking me, Ryan, update on trying the Faloona. No, we actually did not go to any Indian restaurant this week. I will try this, and when I do try it, I will let you know. But no, I have not tried it yet. But this comment right here is the one I really wanted to shout out. Jesse saying Nick is doing very well with the show, far beyond expectations, in my opinion. And I would like to second this. I would say that Nick is absolutely going above my expectations. For those of you that don't know Nick, this is a common practice for him. You'll have expectations, and then he blows them out of the water. I'll be honest, selfishly, Nick has actually removed a lot of weight off my back for this by going through the news and why stocks are moving. I am basically focusing on what we're going to play from the scanner, and that makes it easier for me to get through that. So, Jesse, I really appreciate the nice comment here. I fully second this. Nick, great job, man. Keep up the work. We're going to be really sad when you go back to school.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be really sad too. We're gonna have like a goodbye show for me, and I don't want to think about that because that's coming in just a few weeks.
Hey, it's how it is, man. It's how it is. But there's one thing that's important, right? You'll be on your way, man, and soon enough to be able to do this for yourself one day, and just keep pushing forward in the markets. My man's learning.
So Becca's saying, forget the line, just walk around the event with a free hugs sign and call it a day. Becca, if I do that, are you hugging me? I just got to know.
I'm coming, Ryan.
I know you are,
I'll be the
Mitch.
first
I
one to
knew.
give Ryan a hug.
I know both of you are. I know Jesse is. Jay Crow. I mean,
We're doing a hug sandwich,
I'm
right,
just
Nick?
saying.
Yes, hug
A
sandwich.
hug
That's what we're calling it.
All I gotta say is,
Baby, don't hurt me.
don't hurt me no more.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Let's go, guys. Let's get it going.
All right.
Oh yeah,
so,
Ryan, look at the comments. I'm
look at
hugging
this.
you from Raz.
Raz,
Becca
Samantha,
says, of course, big
Glenn,
bear hug.
Becca. Oh, man. I only get a hug from SS Trades if I try Faloona, so I got to remember that. But no, you folks are really awesome. I'll see what I can do about getting this rolling.
I love it. Love it.
Clearing your calendars, clearing the calendars.
What can we say, guys? Here at Benzinga, this is what it is, guys.
I don't believe in a no-win scenario.
We do not believe in a no-win scenario, baby. You win if you got Ryan giving out free hugs.
Dude, I have a line in my email signature by John Adams that every problem is an opportunity in disguise. So that really goes along with the no-win situation, because sometimes when you're presented with a bad hand, you have to make the most of that hand. That is a win. That is a win. And you should be doing that with
100%.
every hand that you go through, market and otherwise.
Amazon already back here to 139.70s. I will get out if it goes through 140s now. That would be a very tiny stop out here. And so I'm not going to add if it goes to 140 here, because it shouldn't have come back. It should clear out that 139, at least in my outlook. So at this point, it's just more know where your out is for me. And if I need to get out on Amazon, I will.
SVFD open here. I think this was open a minute ago. It is moving towards the highs here. Can't quite get there yet. We'll see where this ends up going. But this one, a wild one. Looking at these halts, looking at all of the back and forth, I think back to my own trade and I think to myself, yeah, I'm glad I didn't go through any of the stress. I just took my gains and moved on. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Sometimes you will be. And I think that when you will be the most is when you just focus on your own execution and proud of your own decision-making skills, because that's the truth. We all got to rely on our own decision-making skills as traders. If not, then you give your money to a financial advisor. But if you're going to be controlling your funds, controlling the way you trade, just think about it that way and try to always give yourself what? Building up confidence in our trading and our decision-making, whatever that may be.
You know, one of the other things that I'd like to say, we've talked about this with financial advisors before, especially with those that are active traders. And if you guys have breaking news or an active trade, please interrupt me. But one thing that I like to recommend to everyone is get a financial advisor, even if you do some of your own trading. Diversify. Have some of the pros manage some of your money while you're trying to make moves with your money yourself. No one cares more about your money than you do, but there's not really a downside to getting good quality pros on your team to help build your wealth. So to me, I would say go both routes.
All right, we'll keep going here. We'll see what else is going on in the market. It's about 10:20. We're going to bring you guys over to 11, but definitely we're seeing a little bit of some slowdown action. Not seeing too much right now. Seeing if the market's going to get this rip up to the upside here. Qs are trying. They're trying to get back up there. We'll see what happens on Amazon if I do get stopped out there through the 140s. But we're going to just watch also to continue to watch to see if Apple can come back, right? That's right by near the VWAP. And does Google go higher? Google's trying to make that 130.50 run. What about AMC? It's staying in there, team. Will it get the run now?
SVFD going to halt at 175 to the upside. So this thing's come all the way back. Real quickly, Jay, Bryson DeChambeau shooting a 58 yesterday. Look, I'll say this. I don't care where you play, what tournament it is. If you shoot a 58, that's notable. Jim Furyk and Bryson DeChambeau, only two golfers to have a 58 in pro competition. So the other thing that I wanted to mention here is now it slipped my mind because my cat tried to murder my bird. I'll come back to this, Jay.
All right, let's keep going, team. We'll see what else is going on in the market right now. I'm looking at the sectors overall. You got industrials and financials leading the way. Real estate also going higher, and the real estate ones are really just confusing sometimes, right? This is one space that I never get right, and so I try to stay away from it a lot. But you are seeing some moves go higher. You're seeing PSA go higher, EXR. You're seeing also Prologis get higher, but just an overall nice little push there in real estate today. We'll see if that can keep pushing. Industrials on the pullback, that has been a hot area as of late. Boeing was one area that I was looking for some pullback earlier today. Now it's pulled back. Let's see if this is a nice area to kind of look for. I think the 235s wouldn't be the worst on pullbacks. We'll look to see if I can get that and then ride it back towards 239. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily has a nice little pullback level right around these two. So we'll look to see if Boeing can hold this pullback and take another step up. Deere is another one that I'm looking at, but I need that one to pull back a little bit further.
AAOI might set a new high here in the 13s. We'll see.
This is one of those days where things are starting to slow down, at least I'm seeing out there.
AAOI through. Sorry. AAOI went right through that 13 spot, popped about 9 cents. Might be some more. I didn't take this one. It happened too quickly for me. There it go, 13. That was a nice one.
It is gotten a little bit dull for me. But we got to keep it going here. So I think we'll just have to digress a little bit more.
I'm still waiting on SVFD. I mean, this is here. I'll go back to the chart just so we can see it. AAOI, that moved through 13. I don't know if you're going to swing that, but this is about to open here. SVFD, this was halted at what, 10:20? It's 10:23. So this is going to be open pretty soon. The last time it was halted, the last was a 5-minute halt. So it looks like this is going to be a 5-minute halt again. We'll see where this ends up going here on SVFD. This is just totally wild, though. Take care of yourself, Bex. Thanks for your support. and participation.
All right, we'll see on that SVFD if it can keep moving. Of course, we'll have earnings stocks later this week. You guys don't miss it. I'll show you guys some of the earnings that are coming up this week right now. I'll put up a calendar. Let me know if that opens up, Ryan.
Yeah, it does.
Then you guys can take a look at the calendar. Of course, tomorrow before the open, you get UPS, Eli Lilly, LI Auto, Fox. And then after the close, you get AMC, Twilio, Upstart, Tuesday. That looks pretty interesting there. And of course, Wednesday after the close, you get Disney. So keep your eyes on that report. There's some big reports today. And
Lucid
you get
and
Palantir.
Yeah, Lucid and Palantir are the two that I'm really kind of waiting for here today. Be interested to see how those report.
Let's put it this way. I expect a lot of opposite action.
I'd actually, Jay, do you have any line on Li Auto or Lucid? I know that you've been kind of following some of those EV makers like Neo recently. You've been pretty spot on. Any thought on Li or Lucid for their print?
I'll say this. I expect Lucid to come out with news today saying they're going to cut production. Just because with these EV, with this, the slashing of the market price that I brought you this morning, Ryan, I expect them to lower their fear outlook. I expect them to actually cut prices even more.
That's what I expect.
BSFC, nice move here through 127. I actually missed this one. I was a little slow to this one. SVFD open and moving down. First move was down anyway, bouncing a little bit here. Put this back on for you. SVFD.
Good. Holtz.
It's going back up now.
What I don't like about it is how the spread opens up when it starts making that up action.
Same.
That's not good. So what
I am not. Yeah, Mitch, I'm done with this for the day here. Here it's going to go higher. They're going to bring in a bid. It's going to halt at 179.
So one thing to notice is that how it's taking volume and spreading the spread when it needs to.
They couldn't hold it there, so that did not halt. 180, a big offer here at 180.
And what did it do there? Right, we'll talk about it in a second, especially after it halts. But so it didn't have enough there on the 180s. So what did it do? It scooped up all the offerings down at 175, the bids. It just went down, opened the spread, scooped all that volume, and now went right back to 180. And you saw how also the spread went right back up. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to be careful jumping in on the offer if the bid's going to spread out and go down there. Because if you jumped in, let's say 181 there, and then you saw it really quickly drop towards like the bid spread out like 5 cents, you're already down 5 cents when you hit that offer. So just remember that, right? I mean, just things to keep in mind. I like to always keep risk and reward on these types of names and understanding the percentages. Like that candle, 20 cents on this stock is about 12%. Or 12.5%. So you got to keep that in mind, right? Easily could lose more than 12% on this name. I try not to lose 12% on any name.
Hey, Mitch.
I think
really the Bernstein desk is listening to our show.
Yeah, they're tuning in, Nick. It happens, man.
They reiterated your comments. They reiterated your comments on the Musk fight. They included this screenshot, and I'm going to give this shout out to Carl Quintanilla from CNBC. They say, quote, "Sorry to disappoint you, but it will never happen. The latest excuse." And they include the tweet about his surgery and the MRI of the neck, and maybe about the fight not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening, man. It's already a done deal.
Jay, thank you.
Thing or not? What you got, Ryan?
Jay, I had asked him specifically about a couple of these EV makers that are reporting. Jay says, Ryan, LI reports tomorrow with Rivian 2, Lucid's tonight. I don't expect much, but LI did report a profitable quarter last report, one of the few EVs to do so. So, Jay, I'm reading between the lines there. Seems like you're not expecting much out of this group, but if you were, it would probably be Li based on the fact that it has performed well in the past. That's good.
All right.
I don't have a position on either of those, although I am interested in Lucid because of my own bias.
So we're right back up there. Amazon gets right back above the 140s, now making a move to 140.44s. I could see Google start taking that lift there. I'll look to see if that goes through the 130.50s. But it hasn't been the biggest day either. We're just kind of staying within range here on the Qs. And that's when I try to talk about traders that hey, we got to be patient when we're within ranges. The Qs still not really breaking down. They're not breaking to the upside. Sideways consolidation overall is what I'm seeing. And so when I see sideways consolidation, this tells me what? Try not to trade too much, Mitch, until you see the market determine direction. Right now, I don't think the market has direction. It has pullback and looking to see if the buy the dippers want to come in to bring this market right back. All right, that saves food. We'll see when that opens up again. It is 10:30, team. We still got 30 minutes to go, man. It's
I
been a
know.
long show. Let me tell you guys that. And that's the reason why. It's just the market just seems like it's in undecision to me. It's uncertain. Can you blame them? We're in market correction right now. All right, let's keep going, guys. We just keep
That was up
looking to see.
300. I mean, the Dow's up 300 today, but I just don't see like I'm thinking the one thing that's really tough about this market is that the setups aren't great. Like even today, the setups weren't. I guess SVFD was a pretty decent setup, but that's probably the best. Setups really aren't great. Just kind of wild stuff happening, and that's generally not my jam. I generally prefer less wild than more wild. Although I did find the best logo ball during this last golf trip that I added to my logo ball collection. The best one. I found it on the course. I cleaned it up and saved it. You know what it is?
What is it?
It says on it, the mayor of Pound Town. Yes, sir. That logo ball is up on the rack, Mitch. Yep, you know it.
Yeah, it reminds me when I was a kid. I used to back up like my house, like my apartment building would back up to like a golf course, and I used to always go out there and just try to steal the balls. It's not stealing if I found them, right? Nobody wanted
I
them.
mean, yeah, just don't take the ones that are on the green.
You see someone hitting it,
Dan.
and then you just run on the field, grab the ball, and run.
By the way, SVDO open printing twos. So it did print twos. There it is, through two now on SVD, SVFD. God, I gotta get the name right. Huge move here. It's gonna pull now. It looks like real quickly here, Dan. This is exactly how I feel, Dan. Feels like the market needs a healthy pullback to set up again. Dan, I'm with you, and that's why I've got so much cash just kind of sitting around on the sidelines. This is gonna halt at 205, by the way. SVFD, if it holds here, they didn't hold it. They sold into it. 212 now. Oh my God. So now it can go higher. Anyway, as far as the market goes, I feel the same. I really want this healthy pullback. Now, the question is going to be when we start pulling back, people are going to be asking, where's the bottom? And I don't have an answer for you. I'm going to probably be trying good stocks on the way down, but I'm waiting for this to be the same thing that you are, Dan. Same exact thing.
All right. This is a day where I start looking in the Twitter streets. What are they talking about?
Yes, sir.
In the streets.
CPI
Twitter.
this week. That's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, CPI could come in hot. You know, that's one thing that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. Why do I feel it could come in hot? Just look at oil prices. Be careful. Careful. All right, we'll see what happens out there. Looking around, man, it's one of those weeks where it's just like I think we're going to be a little bit on the lull, and that could give us a nice actually lift eventually if we don't get negatives to come in, right?
SVFD halted at 216. Looking at the Twitter streets there.
Whatever happened to that AMC move? Oh, it did a little bit of a pop, man. We missed that. I've been calling this one out pretty well. I just didn't take the trade,
I'm okay with
guys.
missing that, frankly.
I mean, it was a nice little pullback here for the 505 for the breakout. That's what I was looking for. That was
Yo,
already
Hot
3+X.
Rod. Yo, if you guys haven't met Hot Rod here from the Benzinga team, you're missing out. Dude is an absolute comedian. And really appreciate you coming in here, Rodrigo, and offering the support. I appreciate that. Did you like it for me?
We will see if we can get that one to go through. AMC traders, what do you guys think out there?
Was that a Chewbacca that I just heard?
You know it.
Let's go.
Oh man, this is one of those days where a lot of traders are scratching their heads. And I'm at the
TSFC?
point where I'm not. I'm not trying to scratch my head right now. I'm not trying to be a little bit confused right now. I'm just waiting. Just wait. It's okay to be patient sometimes, guys. We don't always got to be like, what's the next trade? What's the next trade?
Come on, brain. Think, brain. We're gonna die. Last chance to get out of here. Hello, you working?
No, it's not like that, day traders. Don't worry. You don't have to always trade. It's okay to have a no trade day. I think that's where a lot of day traders struggle. Very few day traders I know that I can ask them and I'd be like, when's the last time you had a no trade day?
Mine was Friday.
It shows a lot when you can do those. I think you have to know when your setups are there and when the opportunities are there. And when they're not, it's also important to know when to be patient, right? Man, this market is not a
Jay,
fun one.
Jay, I like it. Jay didn't trade on Saturday or Sunday, guys, so he took his break. So he's not a degenerate.
It's okay. You know, it's okay.
BSFC, man. Oh, what happened here? I didn't take this one. I didn't take this one, but this is gonna halt here. This was a great pullback move towards the VWAP here. Didn't quite get there, but got within what? 3 cents of it, and now bang, huge move up. This is halted here.
The draft kings, the kings of the draft.
Crow, you got a strong watch for us, PRZO. I swear, if this is a penny stock. Okay, I see you, Crow. It's really kind of holding in here. I guess what you'd be waiting for here is a volume pop, right? We get a volume pop in here, we'll be good. We'll be in good shape. So, Bernard, so funniest story. Oh man, speaking of drives being long and straight. First of all, my driver was probably the best part of my game over the course of the weekend, which is a rarity. But I golfed with one of my buddies who's literally a scratch golfer. We were playing Thunderhawk, a really nice course from the blue tees, so one step in front of the championship tees. And he was -2 through 9, like legit. Like he's really, I think he ended up shooting a 71 that day. Just must be nice. One of the holes was we had maybe 280 yards to fly these bunkers, and none of the other group can do it or confidently. So we kind of laid up, played a little to the right so we could have a safe second shot. My friend just goes, should I go full Bryson here? I'm going to go full Bryson. He takes his driver out and he's like, he starts like pumping himself up, steps up to the tee. And I swear he hit that ball 310 carry. I mean, he absolutely smoked it right over the bunker, rolled down probably another 30 yards in the alley. I mean, that thing was 340 yards away from the tee. It was one of the most unreal things I've seen in person. And it wasn't a pro. It's my buddy. So I'm working on that, though. I'm working on that. I pretty much got a free golf lesson on Friday, which was amazing.
There you go, man. Wayfair coming back here. Will Wayfair make its way all the way back? That looks like a short opportunity for me, but that's just me because I'm addicted. I just feel like Wayfair is a nice opportunity to short off the 85 cut through today. We'll see if
So-
it comes back to that level.
Have you ordered
Interesting
anything
thing
from
about Wayfair. Go ahead, Nick.
I was
He
going to say,
asked
have
me
you
if I-
ordered anything from Wayfair, Ryan or Mitch?
Yeah, I've ordered stuff before.
So I haven't. I have not, or I'm going to let Mitch tell that story real quick. I've heard some horror stories where you get like a sectional and one section is a different color and returns and exchanges are impossible. But there is one thing that I noticed recently over the weekend. When I was driving downtown on the expressway here, I noticed that at one of the like shopping centers that they used to have Bed Bath and Beyond and some of those stores that are not doing so well, there's a Wayfair coming, and there's a big sign on the side that says Wayfair coming 2024. So pretty soon they're going to have an outlet not far from me. And if we need some boots on the ground due diligence, I will volunteer to go there at some point.
Well, SVD is opened up and going right back into maybe
Man.
another haul. Who knows? Won't take too long.
This is crazy. Here's the thing. I look at this and I don't think to myself, Ryan, you could have made so much money. There's no way I would have held this short-term trade through all of these halts and back and forth. There's just no way I would have done that. So I don't really
the
feel
only
as
way
if
is to walk away.
Exactly. And I wasn't
Literally.
going to walk away today, Mitch. I mean, you're exactly right.
Literally, the only way is set a stop, walk away, go watch something else, and be like, I'll come back in an hour and see if I'm rich. But you could come back, and let's just be honest.
Yeah,
It could be
and you
the
could
opposite
be-
story.
Yeah.
And you could be like, oh man, I just destroyed myself. That's the truth. We'll see what happens out there, team. Definitely not a stock that I would trade. Let's just be honest. Ryan and I know our rules. 3 halts, and we want to get the hell out of there. There's no way I stay after the 3rd halt. I don't think I've ever stayed after the 3rd halt. I've stayed after 2 halts.
I mean, today
But-
I got halted and said, you know what? When we get out of this halt, I don't want to be in for another one. And when it was going up to that halt level, I said, I'm going to take my gains here.
Take what you can get, hit the bid, get the hell out. I'm glad I got the hell out of Carnival, as this is coming right back to my entry. I took a gain on that short, but it's right back up there. So it could make its way back to 1862. So with that being said, what about Norwegian on the move right back up? So I could even flip and go right back towards the upside on Norwegian, because this one's more beaten down, right? I mean, this thing dropped like 20% already. So you see how the strength is in Norwegian right now? I actually like this pullback. I would look for pullbacks towards like 1830s later today, 1825s, but it's already making the move to 1850. But I don't mind this one on pullback. So be careful out there with leisure getting a little bit of a lift again. Hilton, Marriott, Airbnb, those could get the lift right back up. And you see Airbnb right back up there. And so that's one thing that I'd keep an eye out for. See if it starts making a move right back up. And another area that you can look at, airlines. What's going to happen here? Americans kind of bottoming out around this 1570s. We're getting to these levels where we could eventually get a little bit of a bounce. I'm still looking for one more move down in these airlines to go on a swing long. And that's a move back towards like, let's say 1525s on American. Moves like that, I'm going to take some shots on these airlines. UPS is moving up today, and they do have earnings tomorrow before the bell. Something to keep an eye out for.
So
right.
real quick, SVFD, this is halted back to the downside here. Crow, I like this comment a lot, man. I like this comment a lot, especially because you trade a lot of these momentum crazy names. Ryan, I've traded SVFD 5 times. Each time was base hits, and now that's turned into a grand slam. Crow, this is what we try to preach here. If you have a practice that allows you to generate base hits consistently, eventually people are going to be doing exactly what you're doing here. Absolutely love. I like seeing this more than, oh my God, dude, guys just made thousands of dollars on a multi-point move. If you can do this over and over again, this can be a career for you, a long-term career for you. Absolutely love this comment. This one made me smile too, Jay. Hacker asked Lee Trevino how he gets backspin on his 5-iron. Trevino asked the hacker how far he hits the 5-iron. He says 150 yards. Trevino says, why the hell would you put backspin on it? Yeah, you don't put backspin on it unless you're hitting your 5-iron like 220, 230. Anyway, I'm in a great, you folks put me in an amazing mood.
Let's go. Let's go. Wow. I think Ryan feels good.
We'll even feel better after we get our Ryan hugs.
Oh, yeah.
I've been waiting for this.
I've been waiting for it. All I got to say is about those hugs.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.
We'll see what happens. It's one of those days. Where's the D-Whackers, man? I thought we guys were going to drive that thing to like 500. It's going down, man.
BSFC continuing to move higher here. New highs here on BSFC. You know what's interesting about some of these names? SVFD and BSFC. The big moves, they didn't happen right away. In fact, that first move that it made was almost like the precursor move, right? It was when it came back in and set up that it really had its second move. SVFD is the exact same way. See, first move here was big, and then it really had an extended move. Then it came back into the VWAP and really went. So this is going to be something where you should continue to watch for at minimum this week.
Good Lord. Someone either hit the big buy button or get the hell out on MF. Huge volume pop just about like 15 minutes ago where it was like a 10 million spike. Somebody either wanted the hell out or wanted in. We'll see what happens in the market, guys. I'm just continuing to watch, and it just seems like it's just been a little bit dull. And that's where I like to just say that I'm actually happy I'm not opening a bunch of positions. You guys know me. When swing trading, I can move up. I had 9. I've even worked up to 11 positions this year. But right now, what do I have? 1. 1 position. Why? I understand that right now, at least for me, this is a moment of patience, not gas pedal. Knowing when to hit the brake pedal and knowing when to hit the gas pedal is going to be absolute vital for your trading success.
Absolutely. And you're not going to learn those skills playing Gran Turismo either. So you're going to have to get involved in the actual market here real quick. Nick, look what you've started. Gemini woman saying, Ryan, when I come to visit Chi-Town, may I get a hug? I never take hugs, but you seem to have positive energy, so I'll take yours. Gemini, that is such a nice thing to say. Absolutely. If we can arrange that, absolutely you can. And yes, I am all about them positive vibes. You got it. Nick, look what you started here, my man.
That's how it is, man. We'll see what happens on the Qs. And it just seems like it's one of those days where it's just like kind of just take it easy, right? And so this is what I think is even institutions right now are considering. Do we start to take profits up here? Do we take some positions off? And I think that there has been some profit taking in last week. The truth is, do we sell these positions like Nvidia and stocks that have ripped through the moon? Or do we just look for taking some profits and where do we buy it on the dip? These are the conversations that traders are having now. So I think everybody is going through that uncertainty time. Let's see what happens here. When do you know that uncertainty is also hitting? It could be when you're starting to see defensives take a little bit of a lift. Today, a lot of the defensive area is pushing strong. Discount stores, grocery stores, those are doing well right now. We'll see if this can continue, of course. I think this is just a small rotation to value, but something to keep an eye out for. And then also what's up today? Financial services, real estate, industrials. What are those usually? Usually kind of more lower PE names, right? So the flight to safety type of trade. Let's not go to the straight growth, 60 times earnings. Let's go to the 10 times earning names. Let's go to the 8 times earnings names, and let's stay there for the day. That's what I see, at least for the day. And I always like to tell you guys that by taking a look at what the sectors in the industries that are hot on the day. And you see financial services up, you see real estate up, you see industrials up, defensives up. So it seems like that type of day. Now, what's on the downside? You got utility cyclicals, you got technology. And I think those are the only 2 that are red from the open. And I think those are the ones that are dragging right now. Now it's just kind of watching to see what happens in technology throughout the day.
Anyone know what's going on with APLS? I saw here that the shares were trading lower after Wedbush maintained a neutral and lowered the price target $3. This thing really kind of came in. This was 24, came all the way back into 19, high 19s, and now we're almost back to 24. So really big move here on Apellis. I didn't see any other news other than this. This just strange. Anyway, nice little grind back here. I wasn't in this, didn't have this on the radar at all. ASRT,
I was going to
this
say, we
is
didn't
just
touch on this yet
staircase.
this morning, Ryan, but did you see Zoom? They were asking employees to come back into the office.
Zoom of all companies.
Yes, of all companies, Zoom.
Lol.
Yeah, lol, exactly. Dude.
I mean, I'll say this: if Zoom's asking their people to do that, that tells me I don't know that they really have confidence in their own product. Zoom allowed people to continue their job. I mean, that's not a confidence booster at all. I almost think the optics are worse than the actual call itself.
Yeah, and I think that one thing that people might have wrong is that efficient and home working don't go in hand. And that is 100% false if that's your predetermined opinion. The truth is that there are some workers that don't need to be watched over their shoulder. Like I would say, perfect example, and you guys, tell me what you think. But I think Ryan is a perfect example of that. He's not watched over his shoulder on left. There's no one there. But the truth is, you're not going to see Ryan go and take a 3-hour break watching TV in the middle of the day. He's going to be working hard until his office hours are done, and then he'll be done. But the truth is, if anything, he's more efficient being at home because when he gets to his desk, he's ready to go. Versus how a lot of people get to their desk and they're a little bit sleepy. Then they got to go and get the coffee in the break room. Then they got to come back. They got to start waking up. There's too much.
When you first started talking about that, Mitch, I was like, oh, I should use myself for an example. And then you went ahead and used me as the example. The thing is that I was hired here prior to COVID. So I was hired for a remote position anyway. My previous job was also a remote position. So I had how to be efficient as a remote worker. I had that down coming in. So it was no big deal. Now, as far as the office versus at home, I feel as if I'm more productive at home because I have a private office. The office at work is open. There's conversations. There's people wanting to do all of this stuff, and it sidetracks me from some of the things that I'm doing. Now, there's a lot of
talking, right? There's a lot of talking too.
Though. So I'm not trying to poo-poo it, but I'm saying the distribution that I have, make about 6 to 8 trips to Detroit to the headquarters per year. Those trips are generally about a week. So you're looking at about 6 to 8 weeks of in-office versus the other time at home. I feel like that distribution has done wonders for me. It allows me to do things. It allows me to build up a setup here that I can utilize in every possible way. So it's hit or miss for some people. I think that if you're able to be productive, I disagree that you need to be in the office to be productive. The comment that you just highlighted there from A1, work ethic is work ethic. Some have it, some don't. There was another one, right? But it's the same person that's lazy at work that are lazy at home. Bingo. If you're driven, if you're trying to do something, if you're trying to be part of a team and complete tasks and build something, it doesn't matter where the location is. You're going to work towards that. That's what it comes down to. Great stuff.
All right, guys, I just opened a small little starter in Wayfair short. So I'm going to start trying to get short some Wayfair. In the long run, I feel like that call out of 100 today on the buy is just like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I think, guys. I mentioned it earlier. So we'll see what happens on Wayfair if it comes right back down after getting a buy rating this morning. All right, guys, it's about 10:53. We're almost done here. Just want to mention that we got about 7 minutes before we wrap up.
Yep, no problem. Real quick, Scott saying, Ryan, if you go golfing with Mitch and he gets a higher score, is he a better golfer than you? Well, first of all,
hold on. I actually think I will get a higher score but that won't make me better, right, Ryan?
Golf-
Explain that.
Lower scores are better in golf, but here's what I will say. I know I talk about it a lot, and I know I'm addicted, and I admit that that is the case, but I am not good yet. Believe me, I am not good yet. I can get in my own head. I can shoot over 100 like that. So I'm not out here to say that I'm better than anybody. I don't think Mitch is going to golf because he likes other sports more, and I don't think one round makes it. That's the other thing.
Yeah, that's true too. It's a consistency sport, and if anything,
Yeah.
it's probably one of the most sports that has more to do with your consistency than one shot, right? Because even on baseball, you can hit one shot and win a game. Let's just be honest. I could hit one home run, score a couple of runs in, and we could win because of that home run. Now, a lot of the times in golf, you can do one drive that's good, but then if you go and you back it up with a horrible chip or putt, then yeah, you just ruined that one.
One of the
shot.
holes, one of the par fives, I smoked my drive. My second shot, I pulled the 3-wood out of my bag, smoked that too. Was on in 3 shots, wedge to get on. I was on in 3, looking at a birdie putt. I 3-putted.
And that's
so
what
I
happens
bogeyed it.
sometimes.
That's just what happens. Like it's so much about consistency.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I could probably hit a driver and putt where I'd go wrong in is I couldn't chip for my life depended on it. So if Mitch starts golf, he's addicted.
Facts.
Scott,
yeah.
I would highly doubt that.
I don't.
I would
Especially
highly
since you
doubt
played
that, guys.
baseball.
I mean, I've tried. I've played a little bit of it. You know, I hit the ball far. I'll tell you that much, but this is not my game, guys. Yeah, I'll get there though. I'll get there one day.
All right, looking around, I don't see really anything on the Twitter streets.
I don't see anything anywhere.
PGY is moving up, SVFD coming back in, BSFC coming back in. I did see that Malincrot here. This did break out of the formation from the first move up here. I didn't catch it. We only moved 5 cents or so. PSTX had a pretty decent chart. Oh no, this must have been mixing this up with something else. Excuse me. Rad. This was really, really disappointing. This really kind of backed off that move up. PGY. Maybe it was one of these P names. Maybe that's what I'm mixing it up with. Anyway, it really seems like things kind of dried out here.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Mitch has the funny pants already. Yeah, I mean, baseball's already funny enough pants. No, we need some golf pants. No. Come on, guys. All right, we're going to start wrapping it up here. It's 10:56. We'll start wrapping up. Any last messages from you guys? You guys want to make any comments here before we get out of here?
No, I want to see where we close. I'll watch the news wires, see if there's anything big that comes out, but otherwise just going to assess tomorrow morning. Right? I do want to see how Lucid's print goes tonight, but I don't have a trade lined up for that, so
I can at least tell you the Qs have been playing around all day and pretty much not going anywhere. And so with that being said, you could see some more downside, you could see some more upside, or you could just see what we've been seeing, which I feel like is sideways consolidation and looking like it wants to go just sideways and trapping traders both ways. So be careful out there, traders. Any last comments from the one, the only Nick Brown? What's going on, man?
It's the start of another week. Going to be a busy week. Tons of earnings. Glad to see Ryan is back because the show's not in print in line without Ryan. So glad to see Ryan back. And it's good to be here. So we'll see what this week does.
Yeah, what he's pretty much saying is that Ryan keeps Mitch in check. So, yeah, we can't.
Mitch, did you get a little squirrely while I was gone, Mitch? Did you get squirrely while I was gone?
All I got to say is
from the chat said I was missed. So
correct.
No, he was well behaved, actually.
Baby.
He was well behaved.
We'll see what happens, guys. Like always, we'll be here with you guys right here on Benzinga. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot more for you guys coming up. You got the Trader Bacon Show. That's what's coming up next. And then later today, start Swing Trade. I'll see you guys like always right here. Keep battling. Benzinga is here with you guys. And hit that like button before you get out of here. See you next time, team. And don't go anywhere. This will bring you over to the Trader Bacon Show.